After finally helping others put the TV in the car, they received it, and sold the TV for $60,000. Harold said excitedly, "Our family must have a good meal. How about seafood hot pot?" Noah hurriedly said, "Yes. I want to rinse a few abalones for fun." Mrs. Wilson said at this time, "Harold, first transfer the money for selling the TV to me using WeChat." When Harold heard this, he hurriedly said, "Grandma, this money is fine with me. You don't have to worry about it." Old Mrs. Wilson has experienced so much, but now she has only one idea, that is, all the money must be put in her own place, otherwise she will have no sense of security at all. So she yelled at Harold, "When is it your turn to call the shots at my house? Who won the Thompson first-class villa? Do you forget?" When Harold heard this, his expression suddenly became a little ugly. Noah knew very well that it was time for the Lady Wilson to be master of the house again, and no one should disobey her. So he shouted to Harold, "You kid, when did you learn to talk to your grandma? You passed the money to your grandma." Helpless, Harold used WeChat to transfer all the money to the Lady Wilson. After receiving the money, the Lady Wilson eased a little, and said, "Okay, just go and eat seafood hot pot according to your wishes." Inside the seafood hot pot restaurant. The Wilson family asked for a box, and the family went in and guarded a small hot pot. Because there were too many hard days during this period, there was no oily water in the stomachs of 5 people, so everyone ordered a table of seafood and not a single vegetable. The box was already hot, so they ordered 6 hot pots, which were steaming hot and humid. However, the Wilson family enjoyed eating very much, especially Noah and Harold, both of whom were eating and sweating profusely. Horiah didn't eat less, because she also suffered a lot in the black coal kiln, not to mention eating seafood. For so long, she hadn't even eaten shrimp. She was enjoying the meal, and she felt hot all over. She subconsciously took off her coat, but she felt that her *** was sitting on the chair. She was a little sweaty, and she was sticky and uncomfortable. At this moment, she suddenly felt that the part of the privacy was suddenly scratchy. But the location was too private and she couldn't scratch or touch, so she could only rub back and forth on the chair. But this rub does not matter, it just feels more and more itchy, and more uncomfortable. She thought she was eating hot pot, but she suddenly felt a little bit in her heart and remembered something. The dam supervisor of the black coal kiln, when he forced himself to accompany her night and night some time ago, he not only never took a bath, but also never took any measures. During that period of time, it is said that it is not long, it is not short, it is always so low on hygiene, there will be more or less hidden dangers. Thinking of this, she couldn't help asking herself, could this be? Is she sick? When she thought that she might be ill, Horiah felt that the itchiness became much stronger. She panicked, and thought to herself, what if she really got sick? She is reuniting with her husband now. If she really gets sick, it's hard to hide it. What if he finds out? What's more frightening is that when the two were in Wu's house yesterday, the sound of the waves still remained. At that time, her husband didn't prepare any measures. What should she do if she infects him? In this way, won't he know that she has been with others in the black coal mine? Thinking of this, Horiah decided to go to the hospital for a checkup tomorrow morning. If she doesn't get sick, she would be lucky. If she really gets sick, no matter what, she must quickly find a way to cure it. But the problem comes again. When go to the hospital, she has to register to have to check, have to prescribe medicine, and have to be treated. She is penniless now, and doesn't even have the money to go to the hospital for registration. The Lady Wilson has $60,000. But how can she get a little bit of this money from her? Horiah knew very well that the Lady Wilson had a lot of opinions about her now. The reason is that when the Lady Wilson asked her husband for money, she and her husband were perfunctory, but Charlie gave away her money, making the Lady Wilson very angry. So in this case, it is definitely impossible to borrow money from the old lady. What can she do? If you are really sick, you can't help but treat it. Thinking of this, she suddenly became worried. How can I get some money? She suddenly thought of selling TV and got a little inspiration instantly. This villa is so big, there are so many furniture and appliances in it, so she can find one or two that are not very noticeable. Can just sell it? So the Lady Wilson would not know. Thinking of this, Horiah relieved her heart and decided to go back tonight to see if there was anything that could be sold secretly. After selling tomorrow, she would go directly to the hospital for registration. However, Horiah didn't expect that the itchiness would intensify instead of giving any relief. She sat on the chair and rubbed back and forth for a long time. The more she rubbed it, the more she felt a need for more, but she always felt very uncomfortable for the itching of her boots. Noah saw that she was always rubbing back and forth there, and couldn't help asking, "My wife, what's the matter with you? Are you not feeling well?" Horiah panicked and said hurriedly, "It's okay, there is nothing uncomfortable." Noah nodded without further questioning, but after a while, he leaned against her ear and said softly, "Wife, are you guilty of hemorrhoids?"